Hi, this is Stephen Rupp with Super Chevy. We're getting ready to do our next Week to Wicked build. This time we wanted to do a Tri-5, but we're having a really hard time finding a really clean starting car. So we said, screw it, let's just go new. So we contacted Joe here over at Real Deal Steel, and we're going to build a 55 Chevy sedan from scratch, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have a rotary fixture over here.
Yep, we have a complete set of fixtures and a rotisserie, spot welders, just kind of like GM used to do it almost.
Yeah, just on a little smaller scale, but you can get one put
Our
together.
assembly line doesn't move. Theirs moved. Ours doesn't move.
Jordan moves, and Jordan's going to be doing the build for us, and we end up with a car that's as close as you can get to what came from General Motors back then.
One of the cool things about this is, you know, even though most guys won't have what we have at home, but an awful lot of the processes and little secrets that we're going to show during this build are things that people can use at home when they're restoring their own car, if they're installing quarter panels or rocker panels, that kind of thing.
And we're doing a few custom things to this, like mini tubs and
recessed firewall, enlarged trans tunnel, mini tubs. Yeah, all of our basic sheet metal for the entire body comes from Golden Star Classic Auto Parts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then our recessed firewall and enlarged tub for the later model transmissions comes from Hot Rod Dynamics.
Oh, nice. And the larger tunnel will let us run our bigger modern overdrive
T56 and the modern automatic,
like
yes sir.
Big 4L80s and stuff. Well, we better get going. So follow along, and we're going to build ourselves a 55 sedan.
Hey guys, this is Jordan Seacrest here. So far I've got the main floor and the trunk floor spot welded together. My next thing I'm going to do is mark with the template is cut out for the mini tubs, which is about 2 inches. And then I'll go ahead and cut that out, and then I can start putting the firewall on and then fixture. Right now I got the firewall fitted left to right, and I've got it on these pins right here, which is the same spot that the frame would bolt to. This is like the main foundation for the frame and the car body to mount. So that way that's all true, perfectly true. And the whole floor is all bolted down to where the frame would be. So that way everything's keyed in correctly and your body will fit exactly down on your frame. And then the next thing, after I spot weld this, I can go ahead and put the fixture in place. All right, right now we got the fixture in place, and as you notice, we got all these cam locks right here, which is for the roof bow. This is all up for the roof. Put these into place, and then we got the ones down here for the inner quarters. This is for the whole inner structure of the car. And for removing the fixture, we can simply just pull these cam locks back down. That way we can take the fixture out, and we're good to go. So if you're a guy at home and you don't have the fixtures like this, basically what I would do is just measure off a real car, get the best measurements you can, and then go from there. So now that the fixture's in, I can go ahead and work on the cowl shoulders and then the inner quarters. This is the crucial part of the whole car, the whole structure, shell of the car is what we like to say. That way we can go ahead and skin it and we know the structure of the car is good. All right guys, as you can see behind me, we got the main skeleton of the car built. And the next thing to do is to hang the doors. And you want to make sure the door is parallel with the cowl shoulder and parallel with the bottom of the floor. And you also want to check the height of the roof bow here. So you want to kind of keep that because everything works off the door. Once we get the door fitted, we can go ahead and do the rockers and then the quarter panels. So now that we got the door and the rockers in place, now it's just a matter of getting the quarter panel in and sliding it around until it's comfortable. And I use this 3/16 plate here, run it down the center here, make sure I got a good gap. And I do, even on the bottom. Basically, you just gotta fudge it around a little bit till you're happy. But right now, this one's looking pretty good. So I'll go ahead and move on to the other side and do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
One-man job this way. All right guys, now that I got the panels fitted on the car, I got the rubber gasket fitted nicely, and I also got the drip rails fitted. Now GM actually spot welded this in place. We're gonna go ahead and use panel bond along here because it holds really good. I can go ahead and spot weld on the front and on the back here. And once the roof skin's on here, I can go ahead and remove the fixture, then we can go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, now that we got the roof skin in place, we use a 3/8 rod and vice grips to snap it down nice and tight, and we'll let the glue dry overnight, and then it should be good to go. Then we'll go ahead and spot weld the front and back lip. All right guys, now that I got the square 1x, I like to weld this on the firewall itself. That way it keeps a nice straight shape, it keeps it from warping. And when I go and test fit this, I make small cuts and keep just test fitting it, making sure it's nice and tight once I'm done. And I'll go ahead and stitch weld the back, skip every inch, and then I'll go ahead and solid weld down the front face. And then I'll just grind it and make sure it's all good. All right guys, now that I got the firewall feet off and I cut majority of the firewall out, I can go ahead and stick the new firewall in place and just kind of see where I got to trim it at. And it's going to be a long process of just cutting a little by little to make sure you don't go too far. That way you can get the perfect fit for your new firewall. And when I'm finished with it, I'm going to go ahead and weld it all the way across here, stitch it on the back, which will actually make the firewall stronger and the whole front of the car is stiffer.
We've been here working on this 55 for almost 5 whole days, so about 36 hours. Typically about what, 7
days for a sedan.
7 days. We're going to be leaving here soon. You got a lot of welding left to do?
Yeah, a lot of little welding, and then I still got to fit the trans tunnel and get that, fitted good before I can weld it. But pretty much the whole base of the car is just about done.
But it's a car. So.
I know.
Yeah, 5 days ago, we had a giant pile of sheet metal from Golden Star Classic Auto Parts. And now we're looking at something we can send off to paint. And then in September, we're going to be doing the Week to Wicked on this car, where we're going to take the painted shell and turn it into a hot rod in a week. So we're going to let you get back to welding, and we're going to go hit the airport. So like I said, we'll see you guys in September when we're turning this car into something pretty cool.